Learning and Teaching. This is for B.Ed first year, exclusively for Pondicherry University, Vasavi College of Education, Pondicherry, explained by Dr. Shubha. We are dealing with Unit 4 and this is Part 1, Methods of Learning. Under this, you will be learning types, individual and group methods, innovative methods, new trends in learning, use of computer and networking, influence of methods on active engagement and inquiry in learning, activity-based learning, social learning, constructivism in learning, problem solving, discovery learning, mastery learning, individual and peer group learning, and factors affecting learning. Types of learning. Learning involves either physical or mental activities. What are the physical activity? Activities of muscles, bones, that is writing and all that. That is also learning. Muscles, bones, okay? And mental activity. That is reasoning, analytical reasoning, logical reasoning, the process, the mental process, which involves from simple to complex or higher mental activities. There are different types of learning which could be classified as depending on the way of acquiring knowledge, depending on the number of individuals, and depending on the types of activity involved. Okay, so these three are the class. So depending on the way of acquiring knowledge, that is getting knowledge, learning could be classified as formal learning, informal and non-formal. So formal means what? It states learning objectives in an organized and structured form, and hence it is always intentional. The objective emphasizes to gain knowledge, skills or competencies. Okay, so learning in a formal setting, that is you go to school from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock. So it is a structured, organized setup and a teacher is there. She comes and teaches you. So this is formal learning. So wherever it is a structured and it is organized, it is disciplined, it is called formal learning. So informal is just opposite. So the name itself means this type of learning happens through experiences. That is when you talk to your mother, when you talk to your grandmother, or when you talk to teachers or any adult, and when you observe. Okay, so it's a natural way to learn. This learning through experiences may happen at any place, any time, and it is incidental. Okay, so it just happens, so like an incident. So learning one's mother tongue or culture or religion, etc., or learning to cook from your mother. You observe your mother and then you learn to cook. You observe your mother, how beautifully she is running a home. She's a homemaker, so you learn from her to be a good homemaker. So this is informal learning. Now what is non-formal learning? So this is intentional, which states the objectives and could be in an organized form. This is flexible and includes intermediate concepts of formal and informal. So it is non-formal, it includes formal and also informal. So example, the vocational education and also distance education. Okay, so these are non-formal mode of learning. Now the second category, depending on the number of individuals, that is together or single you are learning, the number of individuals involved in the learning process. So this distinguishes learning as individual learning and group learning. So individual learning is self-learning. Okay, so the learner plays the active role to cater to the needs of his or her own learning. Okay, like now these days we have homeschool. It's a very good concept, and it has become very, very popular in the US, homeschooling. That is, nobody goes to any school and they just use the laptop or the computer to learn. And so individual learning can be computer learning, distance learning, etc. Now what is group learning? Group learning or cooperative learning involves a group of people either with a similar or different age, intellectual ability or competencies formed together to achieve the objectives of learning. It requires a trainer to facilitate learning in a way to make progress in learning. So group learning is exactly what is happening in a school, in your class. So all 6th graders and whoever is 15 plus, they will sit in 10th standard and they will learn. Okay, so depending on their age and intellectual competencies, they'll be grouped together and there will be a teacher or a facilitator to teach them. So this is group learning. Now depending on the types of activity involved, okay, so this is the third classification of learning, is based on the type of activities. So these are motor learning, discrimination learning, verbal learning, cognition learning, and sensory learning. So motor learning means what? The motor skills, using the psychomotor. This is psychomotor means what? Using the limbs. So most of our activities involved with motor skills, that is hands and legs. In our day-to-day life, an individual has to learn in order to maintain his regular life. So this learning enables in acquiring skills to perform all our activities related to muscular coordination in an efficient way. So the lab activities can also be said. So walking, running, etc. And especially in physical education classes, you have lots of motor learning. Now the next is verbal learning. So this involves the use of words, language we speak, and write and communication devices we use. So learning the verbal behavior through rote memorization and retention of acquired list of words enables linguistic intelligence in an individual. Okay, so verbal learning can be using signs, pictures, words, figures, etc. Next is discrimination learning. So here discrimination means what? Differentiate. So differentiate between the stimuli and showing an appropriate response. This is called discrimination learning. So ability to differentiate living and non-living beings. Okay. Cognition learning. So this is higher order mental processes like thinking, reasoning, intelligence, generalization, etc. So these are involved in this type of learning. It includes learning of concepts, principles, problem solving, etc. So a child is able to identify a thing or picture 4 legs as an animal and differentiate a 4-legged cat and 4-legged dog and 4-legged cow. So this is cognition learning. Next is sensory learning. Sensory learning is concerned with the perception of things. That is, how do you perceive using your senses? So these are to be learned through your primary sensory organs. Visual learning through eyes, images, symbols, graphs. Auditory through listening. And kinetics learning through physical activities using the limbs together constitute sensory learning. So under types of learners, visual 60.9%, they learn what they see. Hands-on project method 39.5% learn what they do. And hearing 10.3% learn what they hear, and others are 3.9%. Okay. Innovative methods or innovative learning. Education trends are dynamic in nature. Dynamic means it's changing, ever changing. So every year we are seeing a change of trends in almost all sectors. The case is no different in the field of education also. This is one of the areas we see a lot of remarkable changes every year. It makes serious impacts on a student's perspective on education and the learning outcomes. So earlier we had Gurukul system. Okay. Now these days also Gurukul system is slightly modified, like boarding schools we have. Innovative learning with a similar meaning with creative learning, by which the learners elicit the change, renewal, reorganization, and a series of new questions. Learning in which the primary focus is now how information is structured and delivered outside the traditional role. So here the relationships seen in academic and experiential models of learning.